Hello, my loves. I'm Jessi Moon Six, your sister in the craft, and this is the melting pot. Happy Samhain to all of you. Today I just decided I wanted to make a video in honor of Samhain, the most magical time of the year, to share a little bit about ritual work and what it looks like for me, some different ways to incorporate nature into your ritual work, and just a way of stepping out of the mundane and into the magical. So I'm just going to jump right in. For a long time in the beginning, I didn't try to wear any ceremonial garb or do anything really extreme or at all to kind of step into that magical world. And I'd heard it talked a lot about, and I could see why that would be useful, but I thought, oh, it can't be, that big of a deal. But let me tell you, it truly is. When I come down here and I'm working a ritual in my altar space, and when I say ritual, let me be clear, there are so many things that could qualify as a ritual. And there are some that are very simple daily rituals, and then there are some more intricate, less often performed, like you maybe only do it on special occasions, that require certain things. There are different kinds of ritual. So when I'm doing day-to-day rituals like cooking, for instance, which has become a ritual incorporating herbs, the direction I stir, all of those things, or drawing a bath and I am blessing the water and adding things to my bath, that is a ritual, but I'm not wearing my headdress or my ceremonial garb to do those types of rituals. I save this more for lunar rituals that I'm doing with the moon. I save them for different holy days or holidays like Samhain, when I'm doing rituals for that. Things that are just, I don't want to say more important, but because when you become mindful of all things you do, they all become important to you in a sense. But these are the more these are the rituals that are for high impact, I guess I should say. It's just a different environment is what I'm getting at. So when I am, say, doing a new moon ritual or a full moon ritual, I will most definitely step into garb. And I don't do anything too crazy. As you see, I've made this headdress. Actually, my daughter and husband had twisted this out of some vines for me the same day that they found these honey locust thorns for me. And I'd been wanting to make like an antler headdress of sorts for a while, and I wasn't sure how I was going to balance the heavy horns upon my head. And then as I got to looking at these, I started to see the antler resemblance in them, and I thought, wow, I would look like the most magical forest witch with some thorn antlers. And so it is. Another thing that I like to do, I have just a little shawl. Let's take this off. I already stabbed myself once this morning with that thing. They are sharp. Just forewarn you, if you work with the honey locust trees, they are not to be messed with. Make sure you leave an offering and you come with a gentle spirit. Because they're guarded and they're ready. Okay, so from just a robe and my little crown, I already feel so much more magical. To help get into that headspace, you have to step out of the reality that the world has created for us. And you have to kind of peel back the veil and step into the unseen, the hidden world. And there are little things that you can do to help bring out that energy or to kind of intensify that energy. And something that I've taken up doing is when I come down here to work spells, I will only work by candlelight. When I'm sitting down on my basement floor and I'm looking up at all my pretty hanging things, let me show you. And there's nothing but candlelight shining on the beams of the house, and it's all is still and all is quiet. I don't know if it's past life, it brings back these memories of, I don't know, it's just a remembering, a divine remembering. When I have to hunt for my herbs by the light of my candle here, and or I'm writing by my candlelight. Something about that just feels really magical, and it helps to step into that magical realm just a little bit more. Another thing that I like to do when I'm working is to have herbs burning. Tiny little footsteps. Sorry, I didn't put my dogs up. But I like to have the sacred herbs burning. Things like rosemary, lavender, sage, any of those sacred herbs, having them burning. It also helps kind of set the mood, set the tone for the ritual. One thing that I've done to incorporate nature into my ritual work more is in my wands. I don't know if you can see the detail, but my best friend gifted me this one. Hey Dee. And she found this at the falls near where she lives, and I thought that was so beautiful. And I love the curvature of this wood here, and it is so sturdy and so strong, and I've started to wood burn little vines upon it. Or this one here, my husband had gifted me. It was a root from our first home together. So it's very powerful to me, very strong emotions and energies attached to this one. Working with nature, I always encourage you to leave offerings or to make trades of your hair, of your nails, or little pieces of you for pieces of them. And just being mindful, not just taking things, but thinking before we take them, and trying to be conscious of every little thing that we're doing. And in a way, you can make a ritual. I'm getting hot. In a way, you can make a ritual out of so many things. Another thing that I like to incorporate into ritual is different kind of drummings or sounds or chants. And, you know, it's the fall. Things are starting to die and return to the earth. And that's why the locust tree was bare, because all of these had fallen down. I used to play with these as a child, as little maracas, and I thought, man, these would be great for ritual work, like to wear as little bracelets or shaking my hands or to just tapping. So I started incorporating a steady tap of the honey locust seedlings, and I thought that was a really cool way of incorporating nature into my ritual work as well. So, like I said, there's so many ways to practice ritual into your own craft, to bring magic into your life, and to step out of the mundane world and into the magical. So I would love to hear some of your methods for doing this. I hope you have a blessed Halloween, a blessed Samhain. I will be taking my little one out. She wanted to be a witch again for the second year in a row, and I was all for it, but she decided to be a vampire last second. So we're gonna be going trick-or-treating. If you're taking your little ones out trick-or-treating, I hope you are safe and you have a fun night. And just make sure to remember what this night is all about and what it started as. And this is a celebration of those who have went before us, and this is a great time to reconnect with them. So maybe writing letters to lost loved ones to leave with your dumb supper, or, you know, sitting down and just speaking to them as if they were there and saying all those things that you never got to say before, or that are still heavy on your heart, or questions that you never got to ask. Just sit there and talk. Call them in and pretend that they're there with you, because they might be. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, please give this video a like or subscribe if you haven't already, so it will help me reach more witches like you. Thanks for letting me be a part of your journey and being a part of mine. And until next time, bless.